So this video is about Bunny Shell. So what is Bunny Shell? It is basically a environment as a service which allows you to run or deploy your code directly in the cloud, but on some ephemeral environments. So here in the documentation you can see what they say that self-service development environments on Kubernetes. So in this you can make use of your own Kubernetes clusters, or if you want, so Bunny Shell also provides its own cluster for you for deploying your code. So if we go to the console in the Bunny Shell, you can see here, if we go to the environments, we can create an environment, and also it provides a set of templates which you can choose if you have some application like that. Let's say here you have Express plus React plus AWS RDS Postgres. So here I have deployed an application that is Umami. So what is Umami? It is an application, basically an open source platform alternative to Google Analytics, right? So here, if you want to see how I have deployed it, so this application basically is a full stack Next.js based application, but it uses PostgreSQL as a database. So it also supports MySQL. Whatever you like, you can use. So here, how I deployed it. So for the database, I have some Terraform scripts for deploying PostgreSQL database to AWS RDS. And when this database is ready, so I have a connection, so we can connect this database to our application. How? So if I show you the configuration, so here if you go to the bunnyshell.yaml file, you can see the configuration here. So also Bunny Shell also supports same YAML syntax configuration. Here in the components, you can define as many components as your parts of your application, right? So here I have two parts of my application. One is my application which I want to deploy, and one is database I want to deploy using Terraform, right? So here you will see the first component is kind Terraform, and here I have named it DBRDS. And for the GitHub repo, I have specified my GitHub repo, this one. And for the Terraform directory path, I have defined the scripts path and the Git branch, in which branch my code is there, right? And for the runner image, I have specified HashiCorp Terraform. Why runner image? So basically, whenever the Bunny Shell deploys your code, or it runs a pipeline based on this YAML configuration file, and this pipeline, it uses, for executing these pipelines, Bunny Shell uses a Kubernetes cluster. So in the clusters, it creates pods, and in the pods, you have to use a Docker image. So it's based upon you completely what image you want to use. Let's say if you want to run some Node.js based configuration, so you can use Node.js application, Node.js Docker image, or as here I want to deploy my database using Terraform, so I am using Terraform image that is officially developed by HashiCorp. So here I have my deploy script. Here you can see first go inside the Terraform directory, then Terraform init, and then Terraform apply. And here in the Terraform apply, I have added all the variables here. So now the main part here is I can also export my variables that are my output variables from the Terraform scripts. Just like if you have worked with GitHub Actions, in that also you can export, or you can have output variables, output environment variables, or step output environment variables that you can use in another steps. So as here you can have output variables in any component, and then you can use that in another component. So I have exported RDS DB name, DB port, and DB host here, and I'm using this as environment variables inside my application here. And my application, and also it supports Docker Compose. So not only Docker Compose and Terraform, it supports also Kubernetes manifest files or Helm charts. Whatever you want, you can use that to deploy your application. So here I am using the image of the Umami application, that is the official image. And here I have added some environment variables like this. So this is the database type I have added, app secret. It is basically completely upon you. You can add any random string. And here for the database URL, I have added my database URL like this. You can see components.dbrds.exported.db username. So it is the syntax that I'm using, the variables that are exported from this component, that is Terraform component. So now let's go here how I have deployed it. So if I go to environment, so you can see this is the environment that is running currently. So I have deployed it using like this. So we have to connect a GitHub repo, and in the configuration you can specify your configuration like this bunnyshell.yaml, and you can all specify or copy paste your configuration file here. Then you just need to click on deploy, it will be deployed. And if you see how the pipeline runs, you can see my past pipelines here. So this is the pipeline, how it works. So it does some pre-checks, then it basically deploy your it will first deploy your Terraform, and then it will deploy your Docker Compose components. So now if we go to the application here, you can see what are the components are deployed. So in my DB RDS, it has deployed all the things I have specified in my Terraform repo, Terraform scripts. So here you can see RDS DB, AWS DB instance, AWS security group, and a password random string. And also inside the application you can see what are the so app, service, and these are the things. So it basically converted my Docker Compose components into a Kubernetes manifest, and here you can see the logs. And when your application is deployed, how you can access it, basically I will go to here and I can access my application, that is Umami, right? So it is deployed now. So this is a very good platform if you want to quickly check your application, how it will look like by deploying in the cloud, and it will work fine or not. So it is basically mostly for your development or testing or staging kind of environments, not for the production. But if you want to check, you can definitely check this out. And this is an amazing platform that you can use to basically check your deployments, and quickly you can deploy anything, your complete application stack, right?